put it up. Yeah, I'm just gonna put it up. We just talking. Hey, what's good, Josh? Your man DLC. I'm sitting here with JSwans, y'all. Yeah, I know the storms came through and did a number on Tampa, Central Florida, even as far north as where my people stay at, man. Yeah, y'all still got a problem with the rivers up there?
Now, this next couple of days, they're talking about them swelling up a little bit. But you know me, I can swim. I'm good. I'm in the hills, bro. Come on now. I live with the rich white folk.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah.
DeSantis will be right here with his white boots on, sashaying his ass through the woods.
Yeah, he looks sassy, bro. I think he got some secrets, bro. He's got a deep closet, bro. That's just my take on DeSantis. I mean, he pretty much destroyed his. Yeah, bro. He pretty much destroyed, I think, his political career. He made a run too soon for the White House, and it just really showed, who he is. Dude should have just sat back and taken care of Florida. You look at what's going on now, bro. Like this insurance thing, and just you guys watching. I know I've been gone a while. Appreciate all the love you guys been hitting me up, making sure I'm okay. I really appreciate that. It just took some time to get things going again down here in Florida. Still bad, guys. It's by no stretch of the imagination is everything put back together. Humpty Dumpty is still broken. They're still trying to, all the king's horses and all the king's men are down here trying to put him together right now. So it's still messed up. My daughter doesn't go to school until Thursday.
Oh, damn.
Thursday, Friday. And they're trying to we hope we can get the kids in there because her school was flooded.
I mean, you at home playing Mr. Mom, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. It is what it is, bro. So we're kind of getting things back together, helping out folks, trying to, it's going to be so much. There's going to be such a need for able-bodied people to help put stuff back together. I'm just kind of waiting. I'll probably go out there on my off time to help out and make a couple extra dollars myself, bro.
I thought about something, man. Using terms like, DeSantis running everywhere and doing this. Well, no, that dude is sashaying and skipping.
Sashaying and skipping.
A lollipop.
See.
DeSantis them white boots, bro.
Them white boots did it, man. Them white. And then those. What
do they say? You suck one cock, you cocksucker for life.
I guess, bro. So as y'all can see, this won't be monetized. This will be this is what happens when you bring your homeboys in. This video won't be monetized, but y'all be able to watch it. But hey, that guy.
What is it? You got to do it get on your Patreon.
I have to start a Patreon first. I'll get around to that eventually. I don't think I'm ready yet. I mean, we got 2,000 subscribers, a little over 2,000 subscribers, like 2,100 plus right now. Maybe when we hit 3,000, maybe I'll think about doing a Patreon. And I'm gonna do another channel where I'm gonna talk about movies. I'm gonna do some reviews, like my own little spin on a review channel for movies and stuff like that. So that Downrange podcast is gonna get turned into the movie review thing. I'm working on that right now. So I'm gonna go that route with it, man. But I think DeSantis, his legacy is gonna be he's the guy that lost the insurance battle. His administration sitting in office here in Florida that didn't have a plan, that wasn't ready for this collapse of the insurance market that's coming. That's my next show, guys. My next live, I'm gonna be talking about insurance and what's been going on prior to these last two hurricanes we had. People don't realize this people are still trying to get paid from the Hurricane Ian 2 years ago. They're going back and forth with their insurance companies.
Yeah, I was gonna say from a couple of years ago.
Right. So it's all about to fall apart. And that's going to be his legacy. He's the guy that was, in office when it all fell apart. Because, I mean, bro, look at these houses, bro. Like all these beachfront homes, these little bitty homes. You're looking at, $600,000 plus wiped out as far north as where you are.
Man, what you doing? I thought we were talking about this, and now we're on that. You doing the Trump weave? You working
no, my bad. Right now? My bad. I was just trying to get us warmed up here, man. But now let's talk about
Christmas. At Christmas, I fell on a duck and had Easter.
Yeah, that's what happened. And we had Easter eggs. But what I asked JSwans to come through, and we wanted to talk about this thing, man. I'm seeing so much talk about the black vote, in particular, black men voting for Trump. Bro, I just don't see it. What are you seeing out there, man? Because you're not in these trenches, you're not in this YouTube world, bro. Like, what's going on out there?
The brothers I know, and these are, most of them, I'm sitting there. I hate to sound like this, but most of the brothers I know are professional, and they're not touching Trump. Look, they see the handwriting on the wall. Look, Trump may not be a racist. I tell people all the time, he's an opportunist. If the green people had all the money, Trump would be over there, rubbing elbows with the green people. So he's an opportunist, but he surrounds himself with racists, and wants to do racist things. And, I don't see how any person of color could vote for Trump, but, I could be wrong. Hey, people do it. But as far as black men voting for Trump, most of the black men that I surround myself with and that I move with, they're not messing with Trump, because and people talk about him being a successful businessman, and businessmen should love Trump. Well, if you do your research and stop just repeating what's on Fox News, you'll see that everything Trump touches has actually failed. I mean, for real. I'm not even exaggerating that.
Yeah, I don't think I can name one successful business venture that Donald Trump was a part of, to be honest with you, bro.
Well, the apprentice, but that wasn't him. He was just playing a character, So I don't know why people keep trying to repeat that he's such a successful businessman. He's not. And and even now, how you vote for a dude that's hawking everything, hawking watches, hawking tennis shoes, hawking cryptocurrency. I mean, come on, that's ridiculous. And then he comes out and says stuff like, black people will rock with me because now I'm a felon. Come on now.
Hey, bro.
Look, I know you. I mean, look, you probably been in handcuffs before as a little kid. I ain't never been in no handcuffs. I can't even relate to this, oh, he's a felon. Oh, that's the guy I want to be with. That don't make no sense.
Yeah, I've been in handcuffs. I've never been booked. I've been detained, but I ain't never been booked.
Telling you, I ain't never even been in handcuffs before. And all the dirt that, I was doing, I just never been in that situation. And I can't rock with somebody that, well, because I'm a felon, black people must love me. What's he going to say next? I love chicken, y'all. KFC, wink, wink, wink. I mean, come on now.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, bro. For the record, you can't never been the truth with me. JSwans has been in handcuffs, but it's a different situation, guys.
Yeah, definitely different. I've never been in handcuffs that I didn't want to be in.
Oh, okay. Put it to you like that.
How you doing? But
yeah, bro.
No, and then you talk about his economic policies, bro. How the stock market is up higher than it's ever been. Inflation's up, but world inflation's up. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I can't see black men digging that deep into him. Now I can see brothers saying, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna vote for Trump" because they feel like stirring the pot. I've seen that before,
and that's a good point right there. I think what we're seeing, especially with YouTube, you look at black YouTube and what's going on over there, and there seems to be a chunk of YouTubers, content creators who are, anti-liberal. I guess they want to. I don't even think they're really conservative, but I feel comfortable calling them anti-liberal.
Yeah, right? anti-far left.
Yeah, I see that. And then these people are saying that, black people are going to vote for Trump, black businesses, black men. I don't see that, bro. Like, and when you look at it, especially with this election, black women, young women in particular, college age girls at universities have been registering to vote in some of the highest numbers ever. I've heard reports as high as 400% increase or something like that. Something stupid. Like, these numbers are just off the chart. Who do you think those girls are going to vote for? Right? They're not voting Republican. They're not voting for Trump. Right? I can't even say Republican. They're not voting Trump because Trump is not a Republican. Like, what Trump is doing, what the Trumpers, there's the Republicans, there's the Trumpers, right? And it's like there's two different things. So go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, they talk about all these different groups of voting for Trump and these unprecedented numbers. Like never before they're voting for Trump. I mean, come on. Like I said, I'm not buying that. I think you're going to see a whole lot of people staying at home for Trump.
I think you're gonna get a lot of that. I think that, again, back to those content creators who are looking for clicks and views and engagement, or saying what they're saying to get people like me to talk about them, right? But who are they really going to vote for? Are they going to go into? I'm not going to say the names.
Are they even going to vote? I mean, bro, like for real, like you're right. I think there's a lot of people out there just saying stuff because they get attention. Right now, if you're a black man, how you get attention? All you got to do is walk in the room and say, "I support Trump."
Boy.
And you're going to get a whole bunch of, black and white people screaming at you and all this other stuff, and for some people, even negative attention is attention and they like it. You talk about them guys out there, the invisible man you talk about out there, that bottom 80 dudes that are just invisible. Well, that's a good way for them to get attention.
There's one way to get seen and, put the hat on or whatever. So what I believe is there are people out there, these posters are going out here, these people in media are going out here, they're walking up to folks and they're asking them these questions. Who are you going to vote for? They're not asking, are you registered to vote? They're not asking, when's the last time you voted? They're not talking to likely voters. They're just going out there talking to folks. And I'm here to, you know what I mean?
Well, I was going to say, I got to, I've been getting all these text messages from, the Democratic and the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, asking me who I'm voting for, what I'm doing. And the other day I was so sick of it. I literally started to put on there, I'm voting for Trump just to be difficult.
I put on there, if y'all text me one more time, I'm voting for Trump. And that bought me like 2 weeks. I didn't get a text for 2 weeks, but then I started getting more.
There you go. And I think there might be some of that going on. It's just, I'm just going to say this because it's funny. I mean, black men are not stupid. Contrary to popular belief or whatever the press wants you to believe or whatever party wants you to believe, black men are not stupid. They see things that are a problem. Now, are there black men that do stupid stuff? Yes. There's white men and Asian men, everybody else does stupid stuff. But I think that they are, I think that, look, what is it like? I think I saw somewhere where it was like 82%. Biden had 82% of the black male vote last election, and Kamala Harris has got like 78 or something like that. And which I don't know why that's such a big deal. I mean, I really don't. I mean, you're going to get, so she's going to get around 80% of the black male vote, and then you got them weak dudes, like I said, them bottom 80 guys you talk about all the time that will do whatever a woman tells them to do.
Yeah, you got a lot of that. I think that the reason it's so important, bro, is because this race is so tight. Me and you are always talking, and you're like, you're like, tell me what election hasn't been tight over the past few cycles. Bro, this is, if we go back and look, when Trump has been running, those elections have been super tight. Remove Trump from the equation, and this point in an election, you pretty much had a front runner. You had someone who was polling outside of the margin of error, right? You don't have that with Trump.
Well, the thing is you got that I don't even want to say 25% anymore because it don't look like it's 25%. You got like 15% now. I'm working with numbers I'm just making up now, but 15% of people that no matter what Trump does, they're going to vote for Trump, no matter what he does. I mean, now Kamala Harris, she doesn't have that same following. Nobody has that same following.
Well, Kamala Harris don't have that because what percentage of people are really crazy about Kamala Harris? Has to be, again, we're just making up numbers. It has to be in a low digits, single digits, something like that. People are voting against Donald Trump.
But it has nothing to do with Kamala Harris. I mean, what percentage of people have a cult-like following besides Trump? That's never existed. You figure Obama was probably the most popular president in the last, 50 years.
Yeah, going back to FDR. I mean,
and he didn't have a cult-like following. You know what I mean? Like people were still like,
he did, but his cult fell apart. I would say about halfway through his first term.
People, so there are people that voted for him because he was black. You know what I mean? Hell, he's a black president, I'm getting my name, right? But he could do things to turn off those same voters.
And he did.
Trump could go grab one of his hardcore Trumpers' wives, make love to them in front of them, and the guy would cheer him on and then vote for him later.
Facts.
So I mean, I think that's what you're dealing with, a cult-like situation like that. I mean, what do you do with that? Them people are going to vote regardless. I mean, you figure that firefighter, that man got shot for his family and died in front of his family, and the current president of the United States called to offer his condolences, and she wouldn't take that man's call because her husband wouldn't want her to.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
To me, that's the equivalent of the white man going to hospital about to die because he can't get any plasma. He's bleeding out, and he finds out that a black man was the one that invented plasma or came up with the way to separate plasma. And well, I ain't taking that. I'll just die then. That's ignorant.
That is ignorant. I mean, but the opposite of that is how Dr. Charles Drew actually died. The man
That's
who
how he
came
actually
up
died. Yes.
Yeah, the man who came up with blood plasma died because the white folks refused to give it to him. But because he was in a car accident, whatever. But the thing with this, like to say that you're gonna get all these, the number I'm hearing that's in my head right now, and I think this is the accepted number, 15% of the black vote, or I don't know if that was 15% of black men, they believe are going to vote for Donald Trump. I don't see that number being that high. I just,
it could be, but I mean, like of the cats that are saying that, how many of them are? I mean, like we said earlier, how many of them can actually vote? How many of them actually going to take the time to go out and vote?
How many going to get registered, and how many going to actually go find their polling place and actually go out and vote? And or okay, well, I'm gonna vote by mail. Well, who's gonna you got to sign up for that? So it takes work. Even with Barack Obama, that was the only time in my life that I saw hood dudes without criminal records, whatever, get involved in the process. Actually, go register to vote. As we're asking, how do I vote, man? I want to vote for Barack, and a lot of those dudes couldn't vote because they waited until the last minute. But then they were in California, they had it set up where you could register to vote and vote the same day. So it was a lot of brothers like, hey, we're telling them how to do it. We're bringing the papers to them. Here, you register to vote. Now go vote.
Well, that's when you had all them out there talking about rock the vote, and you had all them celebrities out there. Diddy was hosting his political.
I want to talk about that, boy.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Man. Oh man, you're really gonna get me in trouble now.
I know. He's gonna call you up. Have you go drive? Won't you turn left down Flamingo in Vegas?
Like, no. No. But my point being, I think what's gonna happen here, and some of these folks, some of the talking heads out there, they've put this together as well. They're like, look, bro, those folks, they just don't want to say it because for fear of being called racist or whatever. But it's like the vast majority of the people out there saying this stuff. I'm talking about these black folks, these black men in particular.
True.
They're not registered to vote. They have no intention of getting registered to vote. They're not going to go to their polling place on election day. It's not going to happen. Not 15%. Yeah, it's just too much work. Now, of the people who are likely to vote, who are registered to vote, and who do normally vote in national elections, like you look at that number, I would say maybe 6 to 8% of those dudes might vote for Donald Trump, and that's really them throwing a finger up at everyone else. You know what I mean? Like, how dare you? No, I'm gonna do this because I want to. Like you said, kind of. And here's the thing: even the people who are out here making content and saying all this stuff, who are they really gonna go vote for? We don't know. Like, you got all these people saying all this stuff. They're gonna walk in that polling place and they're gonna vote for Kamala.
Well, bro, I think there's Republicans out there that are out there speaking for Trump right now that are not going to vote for Trump. I mean, seriously, I hate to say it like that. I watched the interview today with the Republican governor of Virginia, and when they asked him about that whole thing about Trump using troops to deal with the leftists,
I saw that.
Yeah, bro, he about fell apart trying to twist himself up and make that work. Like, he looked like he didn't believe it, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. I think you're going to get a lot of people, or what he'll do is he just won't, he'll vote down the ticket. Like we talked about that, he'll vote, Republican everywhere down the ticket and just, forget to
just not vote just not vote for top of the ticket. You're going to have a lot of that. There's going to be some split tickets here. Again, the reason why the black vote is being talked about so much is because this race is so close. Like Kamala, Kamala Harris did Charlamagne the God's podcast. I don't think she did the Breakfast Club, but she did Charlamagne's podcast today, 2 hours ago, in fact.
I think she did in Detroit, or she did in Detroit.
No, she just did this 2 hours ago.
Oh yeah, I know she's doing something with Charlamagne the God in Detroit. Some town hall thing or something like that.
That might be it, because that was supposed to happen at 5 o'clock. Was supposed to be live. That might be it. But there's talk that she is going to be on Rogan, and so is Trump. Separate times, of course.
She's gonna be on Fox News.
Yeah, with Brett, what's his name? Brett Bear or whatever, that one correspondent.
Looking like was it Hank Hill from
him.
But no, look, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, she doing the interviews, man. But like, once again, that's not for the black audience. You know what I mean? Like the Charlemagne the God thing was, but I'm on the bet. No, I can't say that. I was gonna say a solid third of them cats ain't even registered to vote. But no, I mean, but she, I mean, I just don't see. Okay, first of all, we know the Trump people in the Republican Party right now, they just make up numbers and they just say stuff. And so he's been going out there saying it, oh, I'm getting all this black vote, blacks are voting for me in unprecedented numbers. And I'm like, no, they're not, bro. Like, I would venture to say I know more black people than Trump. Right. That'll talk to me honestly. And probably more black people than all the Trump team combined. And it's not going down like that. Now, maybe it is. I don't know. I said, you're in a different demographic than I am. You're down there dealing with these guys. These young gamers that they're going for, that they're saying they're going to vote for Trump. I mean, what do you think?
I think that I think people are saying what they believe the person holding the microphone wants them to say. I think there are guys out there, like you said, there are guys out there who want to be seen, and they're with their clan, their crew. And they know what these guys are saying, so they're going to say what these dudes are expecting them to say. I think you got that. But at the end of the day, I think the black vote is going to be, 80% Democratic, like it always is.
Like it always is, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Let's remove Trump from the equation. Let's say that we had a legitimate Republican candidate out there.
She would lose.
She would lose. She would lose. But the point I wanted to make is I believe that more black folks in America should be looking to the Republican Party, not the Trump, not the MAGA guys. I'm talking about the Republican Party. They should be looking towards and working with the GOP. But the GOP is just obliterated right now because of Donald Trump, I think.
Well, also say, black men and women, I think generally are conservative to start with. I think the problem is that the Democratic Party will at least, head in a direction where they're helping our community. They may not do much, but they'll turn the boat in that direction. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Republicans have historically just, we don't care. We're not even trying to deal with y'all. We don't need your vote. We don't need to be a part of it, that sort of thing. And I think that's where it turns people off. Because they shouldn't be looking at it as the black vote. They should be looking at it as the vote.
Just the vote. Like here's a community we can help. And I think you're right. I think what the Democrats do, they show lip service towards the black community, in particular, old black folks who still go to church. They still go to the churches. They talk to preacher so-and-so. They talk to Big Mama and them, right? They go to the church, food thing or whatever. They show up. They do that. Now you look at Obama, you look at Clinton. What did they really do for the black community? Not that much. That much. They did. I mean, they did more, of course, way more than the Bushes would have done, way more, the Republicans do historically. But especially with Obama, that was the biggest letdown. Like, damn, you thought you would think. Go ahead.
Well, that's because black people were like, oh, we about to get the homie hookup. That's what that was. Like, we about to get the homie hookup. And, it doesn't happen like that. People forget that black people are 13% of the country.
Yeah, it's not a lot of us. It's not a lot of us. It's not a lot of us.
So, and then of that 13%, I'm willing to bet 10%, know that they're black. The other 3%, they're not sure.
Something else. They other.
Exactly. They trying to be something else.
He's trying to be something else. Yeah. Like, bro, you ain't Latin, you ain't Panamanian, bro. You know what I mean? You from Avondale. Like, where I'm from.
Exactly. So I think that people, they think it's gonna be like, going somewhere and getting a homie hookup. And and that's a cultural thing because when we deal with our people, everybody thinks that, oh, you gonna hook me up, you got me. Like, no, this is a business.
I know we get taken care of by white folks. or Latin folks, Asian folks. You know, I'll get the homie hookup when I walk into a Korean shop in America. Why? Because we were in Korea, and you know, I was over there trying to learn. So I go in there, speak my
Just
little
enough.
right. I speak my little broken Korean, and I get the hookup. I'll go into Armenian spots. You know, I know some people that I work with when I was doing promotions and maybe get the hookup. Or I know so and so and so and so. Oh, you good, man? Come on, we're gonna. Now with black folks, sometimes they take care of you. Like we try to take care of each other, but you always get not always, but a lot of times it just doesn't go the way you hope.
Yeah, you know, what I mean, or someone takes it too far.
They take it too far. They expect too much. You
You know,
know,
you know what is it? You know how you walk in a room and it'd be all white people and be another black person. You know, you give them the head nod, like, okay, if it goes down, you know, I got you,
right?
That sort of thing. You know, I think a lot of us think that goes for everything. It's like, now I'm trying to build a business over here. I'm trying to give back to the black community, and I can't be giving a homie hookup to everybody in the black community when I'm trying to build a business.
Not now. Like we on the basement floor. Like what I need is your support. I need you to tell your friends to come out. I need y'all to dig down and pull out the little $10 I'm asking. I'm charging you $10. I'm charging everybody else 20, and you still want me to give you a free bottle?
Well, the issue is that sometimes cats be forgetting though. You know,
well, they just don't care. I mean, just keep it 100, man. People, I'm not talking about black folk. I'm talking about people in general are just selfish, you know, and you know, it is what it is.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, you start at the bottom and they're like, you know, I got you. I'm gonna hook you up. I got you. You know what I mean? Like, I'll give you that $10, and then you know, you look around, you're a multi-billionaire, and the cats be like, oh, I don't deal with that. I don't go to the hood. I don't talk to my people.
Yeah, my name ain't Don no more. It's Donald. What? No, it ain't.
Exactly. So I mean, you know, it is what it is, but you know, but back to the black folk with Trump, I excuse me, I just don't see them numbers like that. I just don't. I mean, but I could be wrong. I mean, there's different parts of the country. You know, we here in Florida, and you know, black people hit differently down here than they do in California.
They do hit differently. I mean, here's the thing though. Why? Why? Like I said, there's some people out there. Like I'm more of a political animal. I really dig down deep. I drill down on this stuff, man. I'm paying attention. I'm out there talking to folks. And
that's funny you asking why. You normally be like, you always want to know why. I'm like,
right. Normally, yeah, you the one. And I'm thinking, why would young black men or black men in general vote for someone as extreme as MAGA, the head of MAGA, like Donald Trump? Why? Why would they do that?
I believe it. That's why I'm not believing that, because it don't make any sense. You know,
there's no back end for you. Like, what do you hope to get out of this?
Even I bet you, if I went and found out, okay, that Byron Donalds cat, that congressman from down there, the Fort Myers,
yeah,
I bet you if I sent that brother, I guarantee you never see that cat in a Blacks for Trump t-shirt. I guarantee you never see him in a Blacks for Trump t-shirt. And you know why? Because that shit is offensive and ignorant as hell. You know what I mean? You'll never. And if he was really down with that, he would be rocking that. Or
let's drill down on that for 1 second. And here's a hardcore conservative. Yeah, right. He's a Republican, black dude, successful. Even married himself a white girl after he divorced the black girl.
Well, that's what you get when you make the deal with the devil.
Right. He ain't Don no more. What was it? Is it Donald? You know what I mean, or whatever. Yeah. Like he done. You know what I mean? Like he done changed his name. Yeah. You know, to more refined. But you're saying you don't think that he will wear a Blacks for Trump t-shirt,
bro. If he shows up, if you ever see him with a Blacks for Trump t-shirt on that he actually wore somewhere to an interview or going out, not some AI shit, bro, I will buy you dinner at Charlie's, bro.
Even you believe that
I'll take you to Burns, bro. I'll take you to Burns, bro.
Yeah, Burns is the old school joint. All the old school folks, they're better places than Burns, but Burns is like the spot. I'm gonna take you to Burns.
I'm trying to spend some money, so there you go.
Take you to Burns.
But nah, I mean, you'll never see that. You'll never see that, bro.
But why do you think that? Tell me why. Why, if anyone's gonna wear a Blacks for Trump shirt, wouldn't it be him?
Because it's ignorant. He knows it's ignorant. He knows it. You'll never see none of them black congressmen or senators who are supporting Trump like that. You'll never see. Well, Tim Scott, you might see him in one. I don't know that brother there. Yeah.
He's a little bit out there, huh?
Yeah, that brother there. You know.
But Tim Scott's not MAGA, right? He's just
he's all in.
He's all in now.
He's the one that stood up there and said, Trump said that you must really hate your, Nikki Haley, because she's the one that appointed him as senator his first term. And he said, but I love you, Donald Trump. I love you, President Trump, and tried to hug him on stage. You know what that looks like? Yes, massa.
Yes,
oh,
massa.
Yeah. That's what that looked like. There's a scene in Roots with who's the brother from Good Times. I can't think of his name.
James, they played James. He recently passed away.
Yeah,
he played James Evans. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of his name, but there's a scene where, he went and chased down Kunta Kinte and brought him back, and the master patted him on his head and said, "You was a good nigga. You was a good nigga." Mm-hmm. And he said, "Yes, I am. I'm a good nigga, master." That's what Tim Scott is. I hope you don't cut that one out.
No, I'm playing this raw. Y'all know how I get down. I'm putting it out there.
Little short clip. I want Tim Scott to see it.
You want? I'll put it out there.
You know what? I'm gonna write JSwans a strongly worded letter.
I need someone to send him an email. But here's the thing, though. And again, you started off by saying you don't believe Donald Trump is racist like that. I don't believe Donald Trump is racist like that. However, he rocks with racism. It's hardcore. I mean, he, like you said, if these people gonna help me get what I want, I'll rock with these people.
Yes, he don't care. I
took your advice the other night when we talked. You were talking about that Mr. McMahon Netflix show.
Oh yeah.
I binge watched the whole thing last night.
Right.
I watched the whole thing last night, bro.
Who's a pimp?
Oh my God. Pimp, still pimping. But here's the thing. That guy sold his stake in the company for like some $2 billion. Anyway, here's the thing. That part when he was working with Donald Trump to bring his business back. That's when, the famous video of Donald Trump slamming Vince McMahon and he doing a little wrestling or whatever. I was listening to when Donald Trump was sitting in the ring and they were talking back and forth, and I'm listening to Donald Trump talk, and I'm like, just like everyone else in the video was like, dude, that's the president talk. That's what got him into the White House
now. And look at the people in that crowd. We watched that, and I was like, Janae, that's the mega crowd right there.
That had to be the moment his people told him you could be president of the United States of America. After he did that, one of his people told him, like, you could be president of the United States of America.
Doing that right there. And did you see the people in the crowd? It's the same people. It's the same people. Like now they're going after, like I said, they're going after that gamer generation right now. Because the generation, think about what they were doing. Like they said, the McMahon thing. He was, degrading women and women. Like I told you before, women, these dudes will never get near. And he says it on the video, these guys will never get near these women. And I'm doing this because it makes them feel good.
Well, that's the manosphere. I mean, I say it all the time, bro. That's the manosphere. And I tell the dudes all the time, like, look, you're in the bottom 80, you're an invisible guy, and you want to be seen by women, you got to, first of all, do the work. It's not a whole lot of work, but you got to stay true. And once you start doing the work, them women to see you. Now, the second thing is you start dealing with some of these women and you get the big letdown because these guys think, well, once I get her, it's going to be like in the movies. We're going to live happily ever after. Like, bullshitty die. Not in today's world. That's my broken Korean.
That's funny. But no, you're right though. But that's that demographic, bro. Like I'm watching it going, there they are. There they are. People up there watching the wrestling and crying when their wrestler gets beat. And then they backstage having a party, all kicking it.
But they know it's fake. That was another thing too. Like they know it's entertainment. They know it's fake, but they suspend their belief for that moment. I guess just like when you cry in a movie. It's like when the hero finally, or the hero sacrifices himself and you cry in the movie, all that's fake. Yeah, but the difference is you walk out and go, yeah, movie's over. Hope the sequel is better. Yeah.
Where now these people, like I said, dude's got them convinced that he is a mega success. They don't believe. What is it? They had that meeting with all the Fortune 500 CEOs. A bunch of them met with Trump. And they all came out like, "Nah, we can't. No,
can't laugh with it.
No."
People don't realize the producers who put together The Apprentice. The reason they wanted Donald Trump because he was a caricature of the fake success story. That's why they wanted him. And at the time, I don't know, people don't remember this, but at the time, Donald Trump was broke. He was doing
Burger King commercials.
No, the Gold Star. What's that? Carl's Jr.'s.
Carl's Jr. commercial. Hardee's,
he was doing Carl's Jr.'s commercials, trying to make things happen. When you talk to these guys, this was on NPR decades ago. They were like, "Yeah, bro, we created Frankenstein." When they went into Trump Towers, they were like, "Man, the place was old. It was run down. Like all the furniture was dated. It smelled bad." I've been into offices like that before, and they go and there's Donald Trump trying to act like he's Mr. Big. They had to come in and place everything and make it look decent so they can shoot in there. But they created Frankenstein.
Bro, think about this. New York doesn't even want to deal with him. New York will probably let Diddy off. You know what I mean? But they're not
Before they
gonna
let Trump off.
Yeah, for real. But I mean, like
and for the record, Diddy ain't getting off on nothing. We just talking shit right now. Like that
Diddy going under the jail, bro. Yeah. Diddy ain't never seen that hit. Bro, like R. Kelly's looking down on him like, bro, it's a rap for you. R. Kelly's like, you sick. You got problems.
R. Kelly like, R. Kelly like, I'm gonna see Sunshine again. I don't know about you though, bro.
Nah, that dude is dumb, bro. But nah, like I said, back to the black man thing. It's not gonna happen. I'm telling you, it's not gonna happen. You know, he's gonna get some vote because there's always gonna be that dude that takes it to the extreme. Like I said, I got a friend like that. We talked about old boy. I got a friend like that. He's a Trump guy. He can't tell you why, except that he's a strong man. We need a strong man in office. I'm like, well, Kamala Harris is benching about 1,000 pounds right now. Trump is running from everything. But that's what it's all about. I mean,
the whole strongman thing, like that doesn't play for me at all. I mean, the people, like, you know what? You're right. It's that WWE crowd. Those are like the MAGA people right now, and they're not thinking. They can, if they wanted to, they can. But it's like when you deal with folks, you'll have some MAGA folks come up and say something up there where you stay at, or we come up there and people will come talk to me too, and they come and they right off the rip, you're probably a Kamala Harris fan. I'm like, I can't stand Kamala Harris. Just really telling you the truth. I'm like, ask James. I can't stand Kamala Harris, but there's no way on God's green earth that I'm voting for Donald Trump, and let me tell you why. But they can't tell me why they want to vote for him. And sometimes they will try to, fight whatever it is I have to say. And then, it's like you said, well, we could look it up right now. And that dead it right there. We could pull it up right here. Some woman tried to tell me that Donald Trump served in the United States Navy.
Yeah, sure he did. I believe that. There you go. Well, hey, what is it? If you say something enough times, eventually it becomes truth.
Eventually.
There you go.
So it boils down to teams. Like, I'm a huge Bengals fan. Look, I bleed orange and black, but bro, we're 2-4. Right? We should be 4-1.
It's about time to turn it around, though, right?
Oh my God, bro! Look,
it's gonna happen. Super Bowl bound, right?
Listen. Why you wait? Don't play now. Don't play, because we look good. We look good Sunday night, but we were playing the Giants. But we look good.
I thought you was playing on PlayStation.
No. We look good. Yeah.
But that's what it is, like we've talked about this, like I said, me being up here and going to these different political parties, get invited all the time. And I sit there and I listen to these people and they really believe I'm one of them. And I'm in there, no, I'm not. Oh, you are, you're here. Like you said, you're here. And, I had this conversation with somebody else actually up here. I'm like, why in the world do they think that I'm like them? And he said, because you live here. And they
not just that you live there. You're in those meetings.
Yeah.
You show up.
I go say, well, that's not rule number one. You got to know your enemy, right? Go sit in the room with them.
Bro, listen, I ain't mad at you, but I had to answer your question. Why do they think that? Because you're there, bro. There's only so far I'm willing to go. And I don't have a problem going to a meeting with Republicans or conservatives, but I can't fuck with MAGA. So if I walk into a room and it's MAGA, I'm walking out.
Yeah, it's not the MAGA meetings. It'll be like the guy I told you about running for sheriff up here. He lost, actually.
That's good. He lost to a competent guy. I kind of kept my eye on that a little bit. That dude seems pretty squared away. The new
he definitely does. But that guy came up behind me, put his hands on my shoulders, and the first thing he did was, turn and look at the guy with the camera. I just turned and walked away. And he followed me around because I'm the black guy in the room. Got to get a picture of the black guy in the room. Got to show I love black people.
Because but again, you're there. It'll be different if you guys are walking around at random barbecue. Yeah. If it's our barbecue when he's invited by somebody that somebody else invited, that's different. And in that situation, that guy ain't gonna come up to you. He gonna come in there, say hi to his friends, and leave.
He probably run from me. And but once I start talking, and the first thing I say is something that goes against the grain, that's when they get uncomfortable. But like I've told you before, these people up here, bro, they're not Republican or Democrat. What they are is,
Rich.
they are opportunists.
They're rich. There's a
Yes, that's exactly
difference.
what they are. We talked about that guy, and that's something we talked about on one of these shows about that guy throwing parties, fundraisers for both
For
candidates.
both sides. That's what I would do.
We talked about it on the show, and I remember stuff in the chat where they were like, well, that's just wrong, and isn't that no, it's not. It's a
That's
business.
politics, baby. That's
Yes.
politics.
Yes,
look
it
at Elon Musk, and look
Right.
at what's the name of the dude that used to own the basketball team or owns the basketball team? What is his name?
Cuban.
Mark Cuban. Look what they're doing. You don't think you don't think Elon Musk has money going on the other side as well?
Bro, I told somebody that just recently, man. I told my man up here that just recently. And he was like, well, no, Elon's all in. I said, bro, Elon ain't put his eggs all in one basket. Trust me. Okay? Trust me.
It might be 70-30, it might be 60-40, but guess what? He got a ton of money going to the other side.
I'm telling you. And his business is getting hit from either side. Democrats want him to allow unions and all that other stuff. The Republicans want to do away with EVs. I'm sitting there, I'm just laughing at this stuff. He's throwing money in both directions.
I'm glad you brought that up. Back to men in general, but we're talking about black guys though. Why would working class men vote for MAGA and or the Republicans? Because they are absolutely anti-union. Look what was going on with the ports. Look at what's going on with Elon Musk is a huge union buster. He don't want anything union to do with it. He'll close the company down before he'll let it unionize.
Well, bro, we talked about this. Okay, in the FAA, NACA. NACA is a Democratic. They're a Democratic party all the way around, right? Completely.
National Air Traffic Controllers Association, but we mess with the Republicans too.
Bro, I was gonna tell you, but I bet you, I would say 70 to 80, if not 90% of the controllers are Republican.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Which is hilarious to me. And I'm like, you do realize they want to do away with your union. That's getting you all this money, right?
You look at what happened with the longshoremen, that thing with the ports, and everybody's going crazy. Oh my God, they're striking. These dudes are wrong. All of a sudden, the union is the bad guy. Like, hold on. Hold on. They were going for some ridiculous, it was like 70% pay raise over 6 years. And people like they got like 50 or 60, they got 60%, I think.
Well, always ask for more, what is it? Shoot for the stars, land among the moon, something like that.
Bro, yeah. Bro, and here's the thing, that's how you negotiate. But the guy, the number one dude, the guy that was all over the media, the head of their union, big time MAGA guy. He was big time MAGA guy.
Hilarious. That's why, bro, like I said, it ain't got nothing to do with black or white. It ain't got nothing to do with money. It's just that it's my team. That is my team. Dude's up there voting against his own interest.
Voting against his wallet. Striking, here's the thing. The Republicans wanted Biden to step in and do something about that. And the thing is, people are like, well, why would Biden do it? Because he did it with the railroad guys. The railroad folks went on strike. And Biden went in there and basically made them go back to work. And it was like, damn, that was fucked up. Yeah. When we were on strike under the Bush administration, Obama got in the office, and I was talking to my father about this. My father was like, it doesn't work that way. Your guys, you're not going to get what you want simply because there's going to be a Democrat in the White House. I'm like, yes, we will. Like at that level, with the type of money we're talking about, we will get that contract. We were working without a contract for years.
Was it Bush to put that white book thing in there?
Yeah, the imposed work rules. That was the loophole. They knew what they were doing, but he got voted out of office. Obama came in, and within literally like a month later, boom,
and then kept it for 8 years, which is crazy.
So we got what we wanted. My father was shocked. He was like, "Did you guys ever get what you want?" Like, yeah, we got a contract here. This right here. These are all the games we have. I was like, because people don't understand the National Air Traffic Controllers Association has a massive lobby wing. Yeah. Like the PAC is incredibly wealthy because controllers make a lot of money and they donate to the PAC. So there is every year, twice a year, air traffic controllers go to DC and they talk to elected officials. Like sit down. You got to meet John McCain because you went.
I went with the coalition stuff. But okay. I mean, think about this though. Like, okay, that right there. How many brothers in the FAA? Because you went up there to go do that, right? To DC to go do that. How many brothers were there from the FAA?
The first time I went, bro, just making up numbers, I would say maybe 5% of us were black, maybe. The second time I went, it probably got up to about 12 to 15%, and it stayed around that number when the new people started coming in. only because we were encouraging them to go.
And there you go, because we were, kind of like, hey, you got to go do this. But I mean, but that right there, that right there shows. Like, I'm like, God, I hate saying that, but as a people, we're just not. We don't appear to be that politically active.
We're not there.
I mean, okay, I can't say that because we're active behind the scenes. Like I said, the people that I deal with, my family members and such, they're very active behind the scenes. But I want to say the average Joe, the guy you met that you were talking to about being an air traffic controller, was at Walgreens or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That brother, I'll be shocked that brother even votes.
Yeah, I will be too. I will be too. I mean, it's really difficult out here. As a dude who came from the hood, right? Mrs. Webb, Rebecca C. Webb, my senior year in high school, she was our counselor. She taught us how to network, and I learned that lesson in as a 12th grader in high school, and I've lived by that. I got into the FA through networking, through your people. I got in everything I've gotten. I would say 90% of the things I've gotten, the gains in life, I've gotten through networking.
Yeah,
this lesson that this woman taught me, and that's how it works. And when I do politics, people think when I'm talking to us, they think I'm crazy. Man, you ain't gonna be able to do that. Ain't nobody gonna talk to you. And then they'll see me in the newspaper. This is back when people read the newspaper. They'll see me in the newspaper on election night, the day after, election day, and they're like, "Man, you in the newspaper? What was you like, bro? I told you, I'm down here messing with these people. I'm down here working it." You have to network. You have to put the work in to get there, unless you have a lot of money. Now, if you have a lot of money, you can buy your way into the top. You just buy your way right in. Start paying for those $25,000, $50,000 plate dinners, bro. They come to see you.
Or know somebody that will invite you. Just be like, hey, come on through to and there you go. Because, bro, like, you're right. I mean, but like I said, as a people, man, and it hurts me to say this, a lot of these young and older brothers, I'll tell you the worst thing I hear, the thing that pisses me off the most, man, is when I hear my vote don't count, I ain't voting, from a black person. Because I'm like, you realize people died for your right to vote, right? I mean, come on.
In very horrible ways. We ain't talking about people dying on the battlefield. We talking about people swinging from trees.
And we're not talking about people dying, 100 years ago. We talking about people that, your parents knew.
Yeah.
Dying. And you can't take, an hour out of your day to go vote. That shit irritates me, man. It really does. I mean, but that's my soapbox. I just when you say there's no point, I'm not voting, you just sound ignorant to me, and that's just me. Hey, whatever.
Have I been guilty of skipping election cycles? Yeah,
everybody is.
Yeah, but I do vote. Like something like this. Me and JSwans talked about this. I'm like, bro, I think I'm gonna vote for. I mean, at the time, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I'll look at JFK. Maybe I'll look at the Libertarian Party person. And you had to get on me. It took a week of me and you going back and forth.
Well, you know what it was? Any other time, whatever. I mean, do what you do. But at some point, you're not voting for a person, you're voting against a person. And I hope and pray that after this election cycle, the world can get back to normal, and we can get, our two candidates. I mean, bro, like I said, there's candidates. I mean, like, I was a big McCain guy when he was running. But he ran against Obama. He was a rat. Mitt Romney has some really good ideas. You know what I mean?
I was a fan of Mitt Romney, bro. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm like, man, but he's too old too. Yeah.
Well, bro, when he ran against Obama and he had a stick up and said, bro, like Obama comes in there, moonwalking across the stage and to Billie Jean, and Mitt Romney comes in, like a robot,
right.
Barack Obama was relatable. Mitt Romney was not. George Bush was relatable. That was a close race. George Bush was relatable. What's his name? I can't remember his name now.
Bush Gore.
Gore. There you go. Gore. Gore was not. And it's still pretty controversial how he lost the election. But
you want to talk about a stolen election? You want to talk about stop the steal? Republicans, y'all don't talk about that one. Yeah, y'all don't talk about that one at all. The pregnant Chaz, the hanging Chaz, the fact that the Supreme Court, right, a conservative court, had to vote in the president of the United States, bro. Bush lost the popular election. And guess what? Bro, y'all want to talk about ballots turning up missing and voting boxes turning up places? That was all done on Republican ground. That's one of the things I always tell my Republican friends. I'm like, bro, when y'all talk about like irregularities with voting and shit like that, it's always Republicans that get caught red-handed. I'm not saying the Democrats ain't doing it, but I'm just saying you catching Republicans. It happens down here, damn near every voting cycle.
Bruh,
They catch
every
Republicans.
The people they caught, the Democrats they caught with DeSantis election police people, everything, all those got overturned except one, and that guy took a plea deal, and now he's going back trying to fight it. You know what I mean? But the Republican people that got caught, the ones in the villages and such, they got their little slap on the wrist and moved on. They had one guy, didn't he vote for like his dead father up in Michigan or something like that? And then voted to get down here. You know what I mean? They gave him community service or something. I'm like, come on, that's wild. But hey, like I tell people, man, like I'll be glad when this election cycle is over because I'm tired of hearing about it. And I tell you, some of these super mega people, where they getting jacked up right now in the local election stuff. Like, bro, I was shocked up here. I'm up here. I'm up here in mega country, and that sheriff that lost, bro. He look billboards with him and Trump shaking hands and all this other stuff. He lost heartily. It wasn't even close. He lost by like 50,000 votes or something. And that's in this county, which I don't think there's 50,000 people up here.
Bro, I'm here to tell you what's going on with this particular election cycle. Like I told you, after I told my buddy Ty Barnett, we talk about this all the time. I need to get Ty a call.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, these two candidates are horrible candidates, both of them. Donald Trump and Kamala Harris, in my opinion, two of the worst choices we could possibly have. Joe Biden, another bad choice. However, at least Biden was doing stuff that Biden said he was going to do. He was really trying to help with respect to black folks. Well, he was trying to do his thing with the student loan stuff, which I don't agree with. He was trying to forgive student loan debt, which I absolutely don't forgive. I don't agree with that. And if they do it, somebody need to send me a check because I paid my student loans back.
I was gonna say for real. But I talk to people about that too, about this whole Biden thing, and I'm like, look, imagine what Biden would have been able to do if he had a Congress that behaved like Congress and didn't behave like Trump was like a separate president. Because like even at that border crime, that border bill,
bill, that was a Republican bill.
Trump said kill it, and told everybody he said kill it, and they killed it. Stuff like that. Imagine if he had a Congress that actually acted like a Congress.
I think we're getting to that, bro. I think we're getting to where people are like, look, I'm sick of this. We got real problems. We're getting to the point like we need grown-ups in charge. And I mean, like, do I think Kamala is a good choice? Absolutely not. Do I think that the Democrats should have come up with some sort of primary? It would have been nice if they could have, but there just wasn't enough time. Yeah. They just couldn't get it done. It just wasn't enough time.
Well, I told you, my people up here said that. I mean, I told you this a lot, like over a year ago, 2 years ago. They're waving this one off. The Republican, the hitters, they waving this one off. They're like, nah, we'll look towards 2028 or whenever it is. We're gonna let
it's 2028. That'll be the next one.
Yeah.
So when you look at, and again, the second point I wanted to make about Biden, and I'm not a Biden guy, but you look at what Biden is trying to do with like SAM.gov. A lot of people don't know what that is.
Yeah.
But the federal government is mandated to work with minority-owned businesses because the government doesn't do anything. The government has to contract out if the government wants to buy some chairs for the cafeteria, they don't just send somebody from the government out to go buy chairs. They contract that out. Yeah. So if you are a person of color or a woman and you have a business, you could bid on that contract. And a lot of people like, that's not a thing. This is Joe Biden's way of giving back to not just minorities, but to all those regular folks out there trying to make some extra money.
Well, now you know that you've upset some of the people now because they're gonna be like, well, there you go again. We got the black colleges, we got the black people getting this, we got the black people getting that, and I can go down the list with that stuff, like the black colleges. I always tell people, that's historically black colleges because it's not that they're black colleges, it's that they were historically black because black people weren't allowed to go to the other colleges. Anybody can go to an HBCU. Okay, number one. As far as like these special programs, like not special programs, the SAM.gov and the contracts being, they're having these minority contracts and such and this. The reason is because black people were not allowed to get these contracts. They could not get them. And then when they were allowed to get them, they were still blackballed. Right. So now it's like, okay, we're going to force you guys to give some of these out. And the thing is they don't just give them to black people. And I know this now because we're looking at starting our own
Right. Right.
whatever, a nonprofit.
501c.
So what it does is it forces them to not just, they have to look at all applications. They just can't look at these two over here and be done with it. They have to look at all applications. So the people are still getting, they're still getting whatever, the lowest bidder or the best bidder or whatever it is, but every application is getting looked at now. And that's the difference. People think, oh, it's because, if you do this, then you're not getting good people. No, they're not forcing them to pick a black person. They're forcing them to look at all the applications. Now, if the black person's application happens to be way better, they're getting picked up. Okay. But they're forcing them to look at all applications. And when you look at all the applications, you get that diversity. You get those multiple people. That's why you end up with black women and these things. Because before, they wouldn't even look at the black women. They wouldn't even, the woman's name is, I don't know, Sharika Johnson.
Jenkins. But yeah.
Whatever, exactly. They'll be like, oh, not even going to look at that one. Now they're going to look at these things. I personally think that our job applications and everything else should have no names on them at all. No names.
Just numbers.
Just a number or a letter. But in a perfect world, it would be like that. But it's not a perfect world. So, you have to you have to help people. Just like DeSantis said recently, and this is this is the Republican Party stance right now. That crane down there, and it was a Clearwater, the one that fell.
St. Pete.
And he said that people were like this, are you going to regulate the cranes and tell them they have to be down so many days before a storm? And his response was no, because people should be responsible and do things for themselves. And I'm like, that is the dumbest shit ever. People are not going to look. People
there's so many different ways to answer that question. Right?
Yes.
Like it's so many. It's like, okay.
The look on your face, you just roll back like,
all right. If I'm the governor and someone asked me that question, I would say, you know what, that's a good question. And I would borrow from my brother here. In a perfect world, right, we shouldn't have to do something like that.
Exactly.
However, if we begin to mandate these things, who is going to pay for it? That's where it boils down to. Forget all the other fluff. Who's going to pay for it? And now you can have a dialogue. You can have a back and forth.
Well, think about this. If Florida mandated that homes after Hurricane Andrew be built out of cinder block. Excuse me. And you know what that probably did? Probably reduced insurance on some of these homes. If Florida mandated certain things, nobody wants to see regulations and come on, it gets to be ridiculous sometimes. But that's why, we have red lights, because they realize that without these red lights, people just hitting each other.
Thank you for saying that right now. Hey, Tampa, I'm talking all of Florida right now, all of Florida. If the lights don't work, if the lights are off, that means you got to come to a complete stop at the intersection. You stupid motherfuckers, you. Stop at the intersection. Don't drive through the intersection doing 80 miles an hour when the lights are off.
Yo,
Stop at the intersection.
That was ill. Why you do that? You stupid motherfuckers. Now, you know what, though? There's one of them dudes sitting there like this. Damn, how he know? his girl's going, probably pointing at him like, him right here?
That one.
Yeah.
There you go. Stop at the intersection. I don't know how y'all getting y'all licenses. That is the rules of the road, and it's that way for a reason. That the one thing that burned me up when I was like driving around, the days after the hurricane, was people just acting like it's back to normal. And it's like driving through. Oh, there's a little puddle of water. I'm just gonna drive through it, and they go into the car goes under the water. I don't feel bad for them people. No, I don't try to help them either. I'm not trying to help them. That's what they get.
That's America with an M, bro.
Boy, America.
That's what it is. America.
But back to what you were saying about, what DeSantis, what he said was just poor leadership. Now you got a person like this guy. You talk about an empty suit. Here's a dude that looks the part. This is why I'm always talking about Gavin Newsom. Not a huge Gavin Newsom fan. However, bro, that guy knows politics. He's well polished. He's well spoken. And I think about that all the time. If Gavin Newsom were to run for president in 2028 with America's short memory, bro.
All he's got to do is step away from politics. When is he done being governor? I want to say it's next year.
I think it's next year.
Go underground. Like I said this about Sarah Palin. Okay. if Sarah Palin would have just shut the hell up after they lost the election and vanished and studied and learned how to speak and came back, she'd be a heavy hitter in the Republican Party, bro.
There you go. That part right there. Study, get smart. Because Sarah Palin was not a smart woman. She was governor of Alaska.
Brother, what is it? 17 people, 18 people up in Alaska?
Just saying, bro.
Won all 100 votes. I mean, come on. But I mean, but not really. America does have a short memory. So all you got to do is walk away. And now with the internet and AI, the way it's playing in, they're going to have stuff forever. But Gavin Newsom ain't saying a whole lot. What did Gavin Newsom do? He went on that Sean Hannity thing and debated DeSantis, use a lot of big words. And they'll be like, well, DeSantis went to Harvard. Yeah, he did. But he also told people that he was a special operator, but he was the JAG officer in the unit.
It was I think it was Vinny Oshana on Value Chain on PBD's podcast. He was like, yeah, he was a Navy SEAL. I was screaming at my computer. He was not a fucking Navy SEAL. Bro, I went crazy. He was the lawyer for a SEAL, those SEALs. Like he was like JAG. And I think he was like at a division level too. Like he was way up there, bro. It ain't like he was nowhere near the teams. You know what I mean?
Dude, I used to play hoop with a dude that was a secretary in was it fifth group or third group at Bragg? I think it was third group. And he was a secretary in third group. You know what I mean? And he made it a point to come to the gym and then change when he was leaving and put his uniform on and grab his beret. And that's back when they let them all wear the green beret.
Yeah, like now we know you. Come on, bro. We got tons of dudes in our unit. Right, you ain't you.
Stop it. You know what I mean? And that's what it is. I mean, but like you said, America's got short memories. They're gonna let happen what happened. But back to the black vote thing. Like I said, I just don't see it happening. I really don't see it happening.
I don't either. I don't see it happening.
Even with the Republicans, I have a feeling. Nah, actually, I really believe this. And just talking to the people up here, like there's gonna be a lot of people who just don't vote for Trump. You know what I mean? Quietly, he's gonna hurt the party because a lot of them I think are just gonna stay home. Now, Georgia just had like some record number of people, like 200,000 people in early voting for the first day.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But when we were in Georgia, I mean, bro, it was Trump, Trump, Harris commercials back to back, bro.
Hey, bro, I was just up there it was like 5 Harris campaign videos for every one Trump video in Georgia when I was just there. And I was keeping track. I'm like, Jesus. And then around the country, there's some ads out there that's like really tearing down Trump. Like to your point though, it's like you got that 12 to 15% or whatever's going to vote for him. But man, there's some videos out there that's really tearing into Trump.
They get him. I'm telling you. I mean, there's a lot of people like the abortion issue. That's huge, bro. Like I said, massive. That's huge. And that video you sent me today, I was listening to what that dude was saying. I was like, he got some good points.
He shares your view on the right to choose, and we can't use the A word too much because
that's right.
But go ahead.
But yeah, you're right. I mean, like he made some good points with that. I mean, stuff that I hadn't even thought about. He made some good points, and
I thought his points on union was what I really keyed in on. I was like, he's right about that
too. Yeah. Oh, it was interesting, and I'm sitting there, and like obviously he thought about it, and but I also think a lot of people are just sick of the rhetoric. And they're sick of the lies. Like it's one thing we all know politicians lie. We all know that, right? But they tell lies like, yeah, I think you're special. You know what I'm saying? Trump's lies are like, I'm just gonna put the tip in.
He's going hard. And then here's the thing: Trump would turn around, having watched the clip, and say, "I didn't say that." Like, bro, they just showed you the clip.
Yes.
Right? You're on Lex Friedman's podcast saying, I lost the election by a whisker.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, I was being sarcastic. No, you weren't. Maybe he was tired. Maybe he was tired. Like maybe he forgot where he was. Maybe he was off his meds or something. But he was just like, I lost that by a whisker. Yeah. And you look at all the damage that was done because he's saying that the election was stolen from him. And you got all these people willing to back him. JD Vance being one of them. Bro, it's like, oh, man.
Like I said, I think there's a lot of people just sick of it. I mean, like I said, I don't see how you can be a minority and vote for a man that has Nick Fuentes at his house, sitting at his table on multiple occasions.
Yeah, see, if it was just the one time, I'd be like, well, maybe he didn't know. But you know what? Trump is extremely savvy when it comes to social media. He knows who everyone is. And that's something that everyone who's ever met Trump will tell you. Like, you could be some obscure YouTuber, Trump will know you. Like if you have,
That's all he does is watch TV.
right,
So
any kind of following. So it's like he knew what he was doing. But again, it goes to his point. Is he a racist? Is that somebody that he's like rocking with? No, but if that's going to get him some votes, he'll have to do it at the table.
Oh yeah, I mean, bro, he supported Herschel Walker for a senator. God damn, bro.
Oh, bro,
God
you talking about that dude got CTE, man. Yeah, they couldn't get Bo Jackson. Like y'all can't. Now I don't know. I don't know where Bo Jackson is politically, but you want, you know what I mean, get someone else, right? Like get someone else.
Damn, bro. I was like this. Dude, I watched him give a speech, and Trump is standing there with him, and he's like, you know, Mushmouth from the Cosby Show. I was like, you know, I was sitting there like, and you got Warnock running against him. I'm like, come on, like really?
Criminal. I mean, bro, like dude is tied up into some shit too. So you know, you looking at this like, ooh, these are my choices.
And I'm sitting there going, so this is what you think of black people. You know, Herschel Walker. You know, he'll bring in the black vote, or even watching the video where they did that Donalds and the other guy from Texas, the black Republican from Texas, they did that barbershop sit down interview thing.
Okay,
yeah. And you see the brother that owns the barbershop, the look on his face.
He was just y'all didn't tell me all this.
Damn. But you know, though he knew. Like, come on now. Look, if Byron Donaldson told me he was coming to my house and he wanted the press there so we could discuss, I don't know, black people in Central Florida.
Like, yeah, no, you can't come to my house.
I'm fully expecting.
Can't come to my house. That is just, you ain't coming over here.
Nah, we can't do that here. You know what I mean? How much you paying? You can do it over there.
Right.
You can do it house adjacent, but you can't do it in my house.
Do it over here, bro. Y'all can set up in the cul-de-sac. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to sit there for you for a photo op. And that's, you know, and that back to the stuff here. That's what they want. And I think that's what, not the Republican Party. Once again, there's a difference. The conservatives, you know, and you got the Trumpers. I think the Republican conservatives, they know better. Okay. But the Trump people, I think they really believe that if you're in their presence, you believe the same thing that they believe. Unless, I mean, I'm saying this as a black person, unless you are the gangbanger rapper looking type guy. But if you look like you're intelligent and you're well-to-do, they assume that you're just like them. And that's very unfortunate. And I think that maybe that's where they get their numbers from. Because like I said, that sheriff, you know, like I said, he came, put his hand on my shoulder, tried to take a picture. I just turned and walked away. And then turned around later on. He's like, you're not really talking to me much. Why don't you have body cameras? How come your officers don't have body cameras? Well, I just think that's not important. No, it's real important.
It's extremely important, not just for black people. It's extremely important for everybody. If that officer up there in that shot that airman
up there in Pensacola or whatever it was.
Yeah. If he did not have a body camera on, he would still be in the streets right now patrolling.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. And but the guy that won, the sheriff that won, and it's extremely Republican county, you know, that was the first thing he was doing was no, we're getting body cameras. And he said it protects our officers and the people with us. And the other thing he ran on was the previous sheriff, he submitted a budget with no line items. I just need $70 million. Oh,
and I'm not gonna tell you where the money's going.
No, I'm being dead serious about that. You can look that up. But he submitted and he was like, "What's the problem?" You know, he like they had a big, you know, the city council meeting. He was like, "What's the problem?"
We don't know where this money is going, bro. That's the problem.
Did not see a problem. Never submitted. Never put line items on it. And to me, that's crazy. But I think that right there is once again how the Trump, the mega people are operating now. That they're saying, "Oh, we're about fiscal responsibility." Trump's budget, they talk about is going to increase the national debt anywhere from $7 to $15 trillion.
Yeah, the federal deficit is out of control, and I mean, and you know, Kamala Harris not going to do any better.
No. Actually, the budget she submitted They said it'll be half of what Trump submitted. Half.
I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to you, but I don't know if I believe that.
Here's the reason why, though. I can tell you the reason why. Trump's whole plan is tariffs.
Yeah.
Tariffs. That's his whole plan.
But
tariffs.
Trump doesn't understand how tariffs work.
Nope. Not at all. And now there's somebody gonna watch this video and be like, well, no, you don't understand. Bruh, okay, let me make this simple for everybody, all the boys and girls. I'm a businessman and I sell Samsung cell phones, okay, at $1,000 each. And someone comes along and says, oh yeah, well, if you want to sell your Samsung telephones, which between Samsung and Apple, those are the best phones. If you want to sell Samsung phones in our country, we're going to charge you 200% tariffs. You're going to pay an extra 200% or whatever it is to sell your products. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, okay, well, now my products cost 200% more than what they would cost. And people go, well, they'll just buy Apple products. No, they won't, because Apple's like, well, wait a minute. These folks are paying 200% more. Well, guess what? All my stuff now is going to cost 200% more. That's what that's going to be.
I'm the Apple guy. My shit's going to be 175% more.
Yeah, really. And there you go.
Right.
There you go. So now you're getting off. Quietly, no, you're an Apple guy. No, they're going to be 300% more.
Because ours is the best, damn it. Yeah.
I tell people that, and they look at me like I got a third eye. I'm like, he threatened John Deere. How much more American can you get than John Deere? You know what I mean? 200% tariffs. You know, I just watched him his interview with some business. I forgot what it's called, but some business group or whatever. And he got an argument with the business guy. The guy's like, look, these are the numbers. These are your numbers. Well, Americans don't understand how tariffs work. I'm smarter than everybody else. I know how tariffs work.
I'm the smartest man in the room. I'm gonna cut the best deal possible, going back to what you said at the top of this show. But every business you've ever had failed. Now y'all see why.
You know, only business he's had that's been successful is Mega. That's a business.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's talking Bitcoin or whatever, cryptocurrency, shoes, his $100,000 watches, bro, which are hilarious. I watched a guy on YouTube pick them apart. One of them watch guys.
Did he open it up?
He didn't buy the $100,000. He bought the one that's like $25,000 and was like, it's a Seiko. But the gold shoes, the Bibles.
He's talking everything. He's selling everything he can.
Bro, the school board guy in Oklahoma tried to he set the criteria so low or so specific that they could only buy Trump Bibles. And I didn't even know this. The Trump Bibles got the Constitution and the Bill of Rights in it. And I'm like, what the hell does the Constitution and the Bill of Rights have to do with the Bible? If wasn't America like one of those places that was founded on religious freedom?
Yep. This is where all the religious weirdos came to get away from the king and to get away from what they were doing over there. They came over here. So, man, we've come a long way, bro. So, believe it or not, man, we've been talking for over an hour. So we'll wrap this up, man. What's your thoughts with respect to like black folks? Like I'm with you. I don't think black folks are coming out for Trump in these numbers, but I do think moving forward that black people I think our community should be getting more active and looking towards the Republican Party. What's your thoughts on that?
I think black people don't realize the power that they hold. You know, I think we're still trying to figure it out. I mean, we just became full citizens of this country, 50 years ago? A little bit over 50 years ago. So
were you the first person in your family?
I think so. The first person born with all the rights. Yeah, I was, because figure my mom and dad were born in the mid 50s. So yeah, the first person in my family born with all my rights, my immediate family of a U.S. citizen. Think about that. So I think that we're still kind of feeling it out a little bit, unfortunately. You know, the black culture is the most copied culture all over the planet. You know, our spending power is unprecedented in this country. Our voting power could be unprecedented if we took the time to actually, read, not make everything about what looks cool or how am I going to get over? But we take the time and read, which I think we're doing more and more. I think we're doing it more and more. You're seeing a lot more of our children go to college. You're seeing a lot more of our children, find success in the military or other ways. Once we get away from the ghetto mentality, I don't know how else to say it. When you're stuck in that I'm trying to, my parents were on welfare. I'm going to be on welfare. That's how it is, that sort of thing. Once we get past that, I think you're going to see a huge change in our people and as a culture. And it's happening now. I mean, if we can do it in sports, I think we can do it politically. I think we can do it socially. I think we can do it in the business world. And I'm not saying we're trying to take over the world, but we can be as successful as our counterparts if we put our minds to it. And I think that's what we need to be doing.
Yeah, I think we're still climbing out of a hole that was
Yes.
built for us. A lot of people don't like it when I bring this up. And I'm like, look, I'm just telling it like it is. I mean, a lot of people just don't like the American history. I mean, it's just white folks did a lot of horrible shit. Black folks did too, but I'm just saying over here in America, as the Japanese, as the Native Americans, as the African slaves, like they did some bad shit. But then you go beyond that. Redlining. People don't understand how bad that affected our community. Redlining. When
people tell you that it's over, and I'm like, nah, it still tries to happen. I know this firsthand.
Yeah.
Without giving too many details, they still tried it.
You don't believe us? Go try to move into certain neighborhoods in America.
Yeah, in Florida.
Yeah. Go try it. I don't care how much money you got. Go try it. So it's, redlining, people don't understand, like, the fact that there are generations of, former slaves that could not own land.
Yeah.
I mean, and that just, when you look at our counterparts, they're like, well, why is it that white folks seem to make so much more money and be so much more successful than their black counterparts? It's like, they have more. You can do more if you have money. Like, if you have the opportunity to take the chance, going back to that Vince McMahon thing, Vince McMahon is a billionaire today because his father was successful.
Yeah. Now you can't say not now. Every white person is not ahead of everybody else.
No,
you can't say that. I mean, that's really not true.
I mean, I left my white counterpart in the dust. My white counterpart from Cincinnati, the white guy who went to my high school, was the only handful of them that grew up in the same type of environment that I grew up in. Yeah. I left his ass behind. Right. I just did. Now, I couldn't have done it without affirmative action. I couldn't have done it without government programs. I couldn't have done it. Not that I wasn't capable of doing it. I just wouldn't have gotten the opportunities. No way in hell I would have gotten the FAA were it not for the Veterans Relocation Act.
The Veterans Retention.
Veterans Relocation Act, VRA.
Whatever it was, the VRA thing. Yeah. Which is funny. I've had people say, well, they were hiring, black people when you guys got in. And I'm like, no, I got it under a veterans program. And then had to bust my ass because we didn't have any training.
None.
Where our counterparts were going to school for it. We're just like, here you go. Get in there and do it. So I would agree. Like I said, my counterparts, I would say for the most part, I left them behind. I really did. And but part of that was my upbringing. Success was, anything less was just done. Anything less than number one was failure in my family. So right. Which is probably a bad thing because it carries over. But
you look at your sons, like your sons are well on their way to be successful. I mean, they don't have to deal with a lot of stuff that we had to deal with. I mean, a lot of that is to their own detriment, though. There was a lot to coming up the way we came up, having to deal with the stuff that we had to deal with. But, at the end of the day, the reason we're successful is because we didn't give up.
Exactly. I've talked to people about different things. And when I say stuff like, failure is not acceptable in my family, it's just not. You don't give up. You don't give up. It has to be taken from you, that sort of thing. And that's how I was kind of brought up. And
my cold dead hands kind of thing.
For real, and that's what it is. That's why my wife won't even shoot around with me or nothing. She'd be like, I don't want no part of it. She'll just walk away. But there's a lot to be said for that, and I think a lot of young black men aren't being told that anymore. Like my whole focus in life, once I had children, was that my children will be more successful than I am. I want them further ahead than I was at their age, which for the most part they are. If you really think about it, You know, the youngest one is doing this thing. The older one, you know, he just graduated college. The younger one's already buying up property. You know, and what is he just turned? What, 23?
Yeah.
Buying land.
If I had to do over again, bro. God,
telling you, buying acres, and you know, and he wants to buy a house. He wants to buy a condo, and I'm like, hold on, just figure out what you want in life right now. But you know, keep buying that land up, because one thing they're not making anything else, is not making more of is land.
Yeah, don't buy that condo. Don't buy the condo right now.
You know, like I said, the lessons that they, like you and I went through, like he ain't about cars, you know, he ain't about, you know, jewelry. He's about a portfolio. You know what I'm saying? And he be killing me with that. He's about his portfolio. You know,
now, you know, I do want to say, I want to say this real quick. I'm gonna jump in there real quick.
Yeah. Go ahead.
They would call us lames if at his age we were doing that. Yeah. They would have called us lames. You know what I mean? What are you doing? Portfolio, man. What you talking about? You need to get out here and get this, get them George. You need to get that car, get the whip, get the whip. He's buying property, he's buying land. But it's, I mean,
buying land and maxing out his 401k, bro. Like, like what? If he does this right, by the time he's 30, you know what I mean? He'll probably have close to $1 million if he does this right.
It's definitely about 35. By 35, by the time he's in his mid 40s, he won't have to work.
No, and he's doing it. Like I said, and it's nothing that I sat down and said, hey, do this. But what I did teach them was, you got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Shut up and listen. And he does. And when he was up here, I tell you, the proud daddy moment, the proud father moment, bro, was you know, we're at a dinner party, you know, at over, you know, Roberto's house, you know, over there. Dinner party, you know, all the neighbors are over there. Everybody, you know, everybody's having their wine and sitting around talking. I look up, and my son's in the corner with several multimillionaires. You know, the guy, I won't say his name, but you know, the one that sold the air conditioning company. You know, the senator that was there. You know, the political guy. I mean, he's sitting in the corner with these guys, and you know, he's picking their brain, and they're talking to him, and this and that, to the point where the air conditioner guy was like, "Hey, if you want to do this, whatever your parents give me to start your business, I'll match it." Just like
networking, guys.
Met my son one time, and this was no way. Hold on, this was no like, "Hey, go talk to them," or "Hey, this is my son," you know. But no, he did that all on his own.
Just turn him loose.
You know, and that's what it's all about right there. And he reads all the time. We talk politics all the time, and he's got, you know, different views than I do, and he's not afraid to express them. And he's not afraid. What do you say about all the time? You got to learn to kind of, as a man, you got to learn to be on your own sometimes and do your own thing.
Yeah. You got to go out there, bro. You got to blaze your own trail. Like you can listen to your elders, listen to your parents, listen to your brothers and sisters, whatever, listen to your family, but get out there and find out, bro. Like, I mean, don't just tell me not to go somewhere. I need to go out there and verify that. Well, I'm glad you told me it's dangerous, so I'm going to move cautiously. You know what I mean? But I'm still going to go.
I trust you, but let me go. You know, I'm not going to run in. Let me just kind of stroll in a little bit.
Yeah, let me low crawl. Get up here, you know, and just do a little sneaking, peeking, and come on back. But you know, this is what I think the Black community needs to do. What we're talking about now. I think right now the Black community is transitioning out of that phase where you got to have it now, and we're getting back to planning for our future. Like, you know, like my grandma and them, they would take their pennies and save them. They would work together. That's when you had, you know, people were buying multifamilies and the whole family lived in there. Black folks back in the 50s and the 40s moved like the way these new immigrants are coming over today.
Yeah, the Indians, bro.
Yeah, that's how Black folks, they moving like the Indians.
Tell you, boy.
And that is the way to success. That's why you have this upper class, the upper class Black man. That's like you said before. There's no purchasing power like the Black dollar in America. Right. It's insane the kind of money, but we're not. And this is my thing. I wasn't planning for today. I was just living then. I was planning for that weekend. Like, bro, we got to go down to Freaknik.
We had a different mentality though. Like you said, we're jumping out of planes. You know, you could die anytime. So we was like, let's get it in.
Let's get it in. And I still kind of do that. Like, I don't, you know, people look like you made some mistakes. Yeah, but I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a lot of fun, a lot of experiences. And guess what? My child's okay. I made the right moves. I made the move to take care of my child for the rest of her life. So
yeah, and there you go. That's what it comes down to, bro. Like that, and I think you hit that right on the head. We've gotten away from that. When you said that, I was just thinking about there's an Indian family here, and there's at least 3 doctors in that family,
Wow.
and they live in like one of the biggest houses in this neighborhood all together.
All of them.
You know what I mean? And I think one's a cardiologist, and I forgot. I think one's maybe orthopedic surgeon. No, the other guy is an orthopedic surgeon because he wanted to look at my wrist when I hurt it. And I forgot what the other one was. But they got 3 doctors living in this big old house over here. Now, I'm pretty sure, especially if they're cardiologists and such, they're making probably $500,000 each.
Yeah, each.
And they sitting in this house just stacking dollars, just stacking.
And that's what we don't do anymore. Like black folks don't do that anymore. I mean, Americans are being forced to do that now. And that's another conversation for another day because, Americans are being forced because we just can't afford to have our own anymore. Like, you look at the average cost of a home, you look at the average cost of rent, you look at, the dollar purchasing power and all that. Those Indians you're talking about, they're not worried about who the president is or how the economy is moving because they're sitting on millions of dollars.
They take care of themselves. I mean, like, as much as people, like I said, I'm not a LeBron James fan as far as a hooper. I'm not a fan. But as far as a businessman and a father, I've been pretty impressed at some of the things that he's done. And
he'll never be broke. He'll never be broke.
And his kids will never be broke. He's gifted them properties and stock options. Jay-Z, gave his daughter publishing rights on every album since she was born. Thinking ahead, thinking long term. I wish that I had the ability to do things like that. But
now compare that to MC Hammer, not to knock Hammer, but compare that to MC Hammer. Hammer was making LeBron's type money back then.
Oh yeah.
And went through it.
Yep, went out there and bought that big old house in Oakland Hill, the most expensive house in the neighborhood. I mean, buying cars. I mean, like look at all these pro athletes that go broke. I mean, I sit back and look at that stuff. I'm like, how do they do that? I've talked to my dad, like, how in the world did they go broke making all this money? And we sat, and this is when I was young, sat and talked about how they spend money, how little money they get off these big contracts because they got to pay everybody around them, that sort of thing. And who was it? Was Ocho Cinco? What's his name?
Yeah, Chad Johnson.
Chad Johnson was wearing fake jewelry and flying coach the whole time he was in the NFL. Nobody knew. Shaq never touched his NBA money. He was living solely on endorsement money. Yep. Well, he talked about his first purchase. He went out and bought a Rolls Royce, for like his mom or something. And then the guy kind of made a joke about, can you afford this? So he bought 3 of them.
Yeah.
He was like, that was the dumbest shit I ever did. Because
I got these 3 cars and what? Yeah, I can afford it, but I'm trying to. But again, that goes back to the damage done to the community. And listen, and guys, I'm not blaming today's white folks. I'm just letting you know the shit happened.
For real.
This shit happened.
Didn't do it. We know you didn't do it.
Now, we know you didn't do it, but you benefited from it. And that's what Killer Mike talks about all the time. It's like, bro, it's not that you benefit from it. I didn't do anything to the Apaches or the Arapaho or the Blackfoot or, any of the Native Americans here, right? But I benefit from what was done to them. So I ain't mad if they upset with me, I can see it. But I will be like, I'll be quick to point out my ancestors were slaves. But they're like, but you still benefit from it. And, the Native Americans are out here struggling. So you know what? They got a point.
Yeah. And don't go out there talking about, oh, now I got to feel guilty. Nah, you ain't got to feel guilty. I mean, I'm not like, we ain't saying nothing like that, but but come on, acknowledge it.
You gotta acknowledge it, bro. You just gotta acknowledge it.
Hey, let me put it in simple terms that everybody can understand. You're 5 feet tall and you go to dunk a basketball and you jump, and then Shaq picks you up in the air and puts you at the hoop and you dunk it. And you hanging there going, ah. And then you come down and you get all theyese endorsements. Like, how'd you jump up that high? I got skills. Come on now.
Right. Come on.
Come on now.
Yeah,
the big giant black guy behind you didn't pick you up and put you up there. I don't know what you're talking about. Come on now. And that's an example of benefiting from something that you didn't do. And that's what you did.
And the thing is, go ahead.
I'm not saying you go around feeling guilty. Nah, I ain't mad. You won. But just know. Just know.
Understand how you won, bro. There's a difference. And I've had this conversation with white folks before, and young white people especially, like, because they're not working hard. I'm like, look, and you and I have had this conversation. I was talking to this one dude who just really wasn't doing nothing with his life, and he was talking to me, like trying to talk down to me. And I had to break it down. I was laughing at him. I'm like, bro, you ain't shit. Like you have failed in a country with a system designed for you to succeed. I came up under the same system, which was designed for me to fail. And here I am. And at the time, I'm making hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm in LA. I'm doing my thing. I'm like, bro, you think you too good to fucking drive me around town? Nigga, shut up and take me down here to my red carpet event. Well, I mean, bro, I was on that.
Bro, you know what I be telling people to their face. I be saying it like, you want to be me when you grow up, don't you? To their face. And it just, but the thing is, when you say that, it hurts. Because they must. They know. You know what I mean?
Because my thing is like, bro, how can you lose to me in the system? You know, that's like we playing, you know, we're racing 100 yards, bro, and I'm starting at the 50-yard line. And you starting back there on the 1, and you still beat me? And it ain't even close? I'm gonna look at myself a certain way, like, bro, what's wrong with me? How did that dude beat me? Well, and I was, you know, I'm halfway there already.
I think that's why you starting to see a lot of these. What did Trump say? I like the uneducated. You know, I think that's why you starting to see it. That's why I think another reason why you have some of them Trump people is because they can't figure out why they're no longer successful, why it's no longer happening. You know, they didn't grow up with the dad telling them you got to be 10 times better than the next man. They didn't grow up with that. You know, that's one thing. I mean, you've known me since I was 17. And everything I did, I'm like, I'm trying to do. I don't just want to beat you. I want you to be beat so bad that you just quit ever doing whatever it is you're doing. That's how bad it is. And that, yeah. And, you know, and it wasn't like that. You know, my dad talking about, you know, you walk down the middle of the hallway like you own it. I'm like, you know, that's a good idea. So what do? Literally walk down the middle of the hallway like I own it.
To this day.
Yeah. And because because I'm always trying to be better. I'm always trying to, and I don't even to the point where it's normal. It's right. Normal for me. Like you'll tell me, like, bro, don't be doing that.
I'm like, I mean, you just understand you're doing it. Because I'm like, because when it go down, it go down. I'm still down there. Whatever, we do what we do. But
I think a lot of people that shocks them though. It shocks them. They're like, oh, how come you can do so much better than me? Because I don't know any other way.
Yeah, well, and more to the point, because you work your ass off, man. Yeah. And that's something that Americans, like these young Americans, like these millennials and the Gen Z is the new one, whoever, they're having so much trouble because everything was given to them. Like I make my daughter work for stuff. I make my daughter think. I mean, this is, if you don't teach your kids and prepare your kids for the way the world is today, how can they possibly succeed? They're going to fail.
Yeah, you have to fail in order to succeed, but fail young. Like, you know, my dad always laughs. You know, he always tells people the story about when I lost that, you know, when I was that regional president and I lost that Region of the Year award, and I stood there in front of the people that won, just looking at them up on stage, just staring at them, and everybody's like, "Wow, you just doing that just to be a jerk?" I'm like, "Nah, I wanted to feel it. I wanted to feel that loss." You know what I mean? I told my sons, you need to feel a loss. You need to feel that L. You know, talking to women. You know what I mean? It hurt. Feel that L. You know, I had an L once. Yeah. But I mean, you know, feel it. So that way you know what you don't want to feel again. You know what I mean? Feel what it is to be hungry. Feel what it is to take a loss. I mean, you know, feel it. So you don't want that again. You know what I mean? You know, and you don't want none of your people to feel that. Like I've always said, if I'm eating, everybody eating. You know what I mean? If I'm eating, my whole crew eating at the table. You know what I mean? We all getting a bite. What is it? Break it off, make it even.
Break it off, make it even. I mean, and that's so, you know, the reason we wanted to have this conversation, and you guys notice I didn't do any intros, I didn't do any outros. I wanted you guys to hear one old black dude and you know, and one younger guy sit around here and talk. Y'all can figure out who's who. Y'all can figure out who's who. But this is the conversation that's going on within the black community, right? This is the conversation even with the hood dudes. Yeah, because I still talk to the hood. Yeah, it's two different worlds.
Two different worlds, bro.
Right. This is the conversation. Yeah, it is hilarious.
Completely different worlds.
You guys will be surprised. And I'm like that variant. I got a foot in each world. And I still talk to the hood dudes. And the hood dudes are talking about this. Everybody's talking about the economy. Everybody's talking about what tomorrow's going to look like. They're talking about the fact that it's hard to get work. They're talking about inflation. Everybody's talking about that, right? So, yes, there might be some people out there who are frustrated and like, I don't know what to do, so I'm going to go vote for this Trump guy just because. But I'm here to tell you that for the people who generally vote, that's not a thing. They're not doing it. The people who vote, they know what that vote means. They care about their vote. They think they're thinkers. They're not doing it. They listen to what Trump says all the time. They listen to him. That I want to be a dictator for a day shit. They listening to him. They remember what happened on January 6th.
Yeah, I want to use the military against the lefties.
The extreme leftists or whatever.
Yeah,
my political rival.
He actually said Adam Schiff. Which I'm like,
we're listening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he refuses to answer. Like, people were like, hey, have you been in touch with Vladimir Putin since you've been out of office? He refuses to answer that question.
I don't talk about that. Come on now. I mean, like I said, Black people are smarter than I believe that some groups of people give them credit for. You know, like I said, we do dumb shit like everybody else. We really do. But we're all not stupid. Just like all white people ain't stupid, all Latin people ain't stupid, etc. But you know, so don't take the vote for granted. You know, and if he let's say that Biden or Harris does get 95% of the Black vote, she's not getting 95% of the Black vote because she's this amazing woman. She's getting 95% because they're voting against someone.
Yep.
And that's the difference there. And you know, we'll see how it plays out. I mean, really, I'll be glad when the whole thing is over quietly because I'm over it already. I'm over it. But it's, you know what, though? It's not like it was in 2020, though. Like I said, I'm not seeing all them Trump, whatever.
That says a lot. That says a lot, bro.
And we're up, it's again, a super Republican area. They having rallies every weekend for Kamala Harris up here, which is insane to me.
Well, y'all still got that one old lady with a Trump flag.
You know what? I ain't seen her in a minute.
She probably got swept away.
She probably did. That storm got her. But no, I mean, but once again, I'll be glad when it's over. You know, you can't do polling based on what you see because people will tell you one thing or they'll have a sign in their front yard. You know, let's say there's mom, dad, and two 18-year-old daughters in the house. And you know what? You probably have a 50-50 split in that house. You know what I mean? And that's real. And so, you know, don't base it on what you're seeing at people's houses. Don't even base what you're saying. Wait till the polls are over. I mean, no matter what happens, it's going to be challenged. You know, I can almost guarantee the Republicans are going to do some shady stuff. I can almost guarantee it. You know, there ain't no way around it.
No way around. It boils down to 3 states. Like I've been saying from the very beginning. This one's going down to the wire. Too close to call.
No, Florida now.
3 states, bro. It's 3 states, man. It's Pennsylvania, it's Michigan, and it's Wisconsin. Those 3 states. If the Democrats hold on to those 3 states, they win.
Well, I'll tell you, because Florida right now, I don't know how, you know, I'm questioning Florida now. It just seems like, you know, I don't know. I mean, this cycle right now, like, bro, I don't know. I'm with you on that. It's something to think about. Florida might go red for Trump. Quietly, Florida might go back to being purple because Florida was always purple. But I think when it comes time for the governor's race, I think that's when you'll see.
Oh, it's going to be a Democrat. Next governor of Florida is going to be a Democrat.
Yeah, as long as they don't find nobody crazy. But yeah.
Next, I mean, I don't. You would need someone. You would need a Republican that's like so moderate that they're damn near Democrat. I mean, it just because they've had an overdose of DeSantis. They're not happy. We're just now, just so you know, my next show, I'm gonna do my next live show is gonna be about this insurance thing. People, y'all don't understand how bad this insurance thing is. It's been bad, but we just had 2 storms within a month, 2 major storms, bro.
Well, this is what happens when you don't. Well, that's another thing. That's a whole nother story. We're doing the weave again. We're doing the weave.
Well, we'll cover that. If you guys like this, hit the like button. Hit us up in the comments if you like this. But you know, I'm always talking about JSwans. Like we're always on the phone. This is what we talk about on the phone. This is us normally on the phone, just talking. Just talking our thing.
Yeah, I forgot you were recording this too. I really did. For a while.
Yeah, we're just talking, and we had these conversations all the time. I'm here to tell you this is what Black men are doing across the country. This is the conversation that they're having. Right? Yeah. You guys want to know what Black dudes are talking about? We're talking about this shit right here.
Yeah, I don't think they fully understand the yin and yang in this whole situation either. Like they don't understand the difference in the upbringing. That's the part that
y'all really don't understand. Y'all don't understand how close Uncle Saint was to doing
Seriously.
25, 30 years in prison. Like the stuff that I was doing, like
Yeah.
the world that I came from versus the world that I'm sitting in now. I'm not bragging or anything like that. That's what I was born into.
Telling you, and I grew up pretty much like Will Smith and that Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Right.
You know what I mean? Closer to that than y'all really think. I mean, seriously.
Really grew up. Like if we was to sit down and tell this is why we do need the Patreon. We just really tell you some of the shit that he got to do when he was growing up and the situations that he was in, you wouldn't believe me. So like you're talking about two opposite worlds, and listen to what we talk about.
Yeah.
Like we want America to be successful. We want a middle class. Like me and him, we talk about this all the time, bro. Like there is no middle class. Either you have it or you don't. And it's like people look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, bro, there is no middle class. It's gone. Now we need to build that back. I think Joe Biden was trying to work on that. Again, not a Biden guy, but I was looking at some of the stuff he's doing. He's trying to build up the union. He's trying to bring back good jobs, like well-paying jobs with benefits. He was trying to bring that stuff back, but it takes time. You can't do that in 2 years.
Yeah, and you also can't bring back manufacturing like that. You can't compete with the rest of the world. It's got to be, we got to get our kids in the STEM programs, science, computers, electronics, I mean, that's where the future is. And people are screaming, we need coal jobs back.
That ain't coming back, bro.
No, we're not going to be building couches. I mean, you can't.
If we did, no one be able to afford it. I mean, we can't compete with manufacturing out of China or India or Pakistan somewhere.
No, and that's what people need to understand. But that's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole NAFTA. You look at what Bill Clinton did with NAFTA, that really decimated the middle class. That was it. I think that was the death knell, and it just took time. And here it is.
Well, the thing is like Obama tried when he told people that those manufacturing jobs ain't coming back. He told them that them jobs are not coming back. We need to focus on education and computers and science, and that's what we need to get our kids at. But because Americans and critical thinking,
they don't know how to think. Americans can't think.
Joe Bob or whatever is like, my granddaddy worked in the coal and he died at 35 with a black lung. I'm about to die at 35. My son's gonna do the same thing. Them towns in West Virginia are completely dried up, bro. I'm watching them videos of that area. We just rode the bike through parts of Tennessee, and I was like, there ain't nothing here.
They had to leave. There's nothing there. But you look at what's going on in America. And guys, if you out there listening to me, I don't have the answers. I really don't know. But I will say this: what JSwans is saying, what JSwans is saying, 100% true. It goes back to what Andrew Yang was saying. Hey, man, these jobs are going away. Guess what? Truck drivers are going away. I don't know if it's going to be my generation, but certainly my daughter's generation. Trucks are going to be driving themselves.
Just like people talk about electric cars. I'll tell you right now, everybody's like, that's not the future. They're going to know. That shit is coming. And because my car now, bro, the new upgrade they put in there, like before you had to kind of touch the steering wheel. Look, now it's to where as long as we drove down to where did we go? Somewhere down towards Tampa recently before the storm. And I forgot that I was driving the car, sitting back in the seat, looking out the window, just talking. Looked up, we were there.
Looking at it, you see that right there? Like, boy, you're supposed to be driving.
That's pretty much what it was. I was like, oh, shoot, we're already here. Dang, people, look, it don't get no better. And now they got that thing where the car comes to me now. Yo, we had dinner at Texas Roadhouse, right? And, we came out from dinner and it was raining. And I pressed the summons button. The car drove through the parking lot, around the parking lot, came and picked us up.
Is that legal? I'm curious. I'm just curious. Can you do that?
It did it. It did it. Bro.
It ain't illegal.
Yeah, exactly. Tell you, bro, people were looking. They were like, did that just drive itself here? Yeah. They were like, damn.
There are people out there saying, oh, man, I'm going to go out. I'm going to buy me a bunch of those Tesla cars. And smart cars, and then I'm gonna be sitting home while the car is making me all this money. I'm like, bro, that's not gonna work. They're like, well, why not? Because why don't I just summon my own car? Why would I pay you to get in your car?
No, I won't work. Because if you think that DL Saint, I almost said your name. You think DL Saint is gonna go out there and buy himself 3 or 4 cars and sit at home and make money? What do you think? I don't know. Amazon's gonna do?
Right. You name a corporation.
Yep, they're gonna buy about 5,000 of them because you ain't gonna be able to get near them cars. Just like that robot that Elon Musk is making. They're like, oh, they're gonna be $20,000. They're gonna do all this and that. bro, you're not gonna get near them things because every manufacturing company, you know what I mean, every
every
store.
drugstore, every grocery store, you're gonna see them. Every time you go to Walgreens or CVS, there it is. You're gonna see it.
They're gonna be like, Elon Musk, give me 50,000 of them things. That's what's gonna happen.
Give me 50,000 this year. I want another 50,000 next year.
You are not gonna see that stuff. And all those manufacturing jobs, them robots gonna work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You know what I mean?
They don't need a break. They're not trying to unionize. They ain't got families. They don't need time off. And the same thing, like even with the strike at the ports. Now y'all know I'm union. I'm 100% union. I'm all union. But here's the thing: these guys are going to lose their leverage because the robots are going to be able to unload that shit at the ports, and that's what they were fighting. It wasn't the pay. The pay was a part of it, but what they're trying to do is hold off the implementation of the robots. That's what they're trying to do. And the reason the owners gave in, like, all right, go ahead. What do they want? 70%, give them 60% or whatever they gave. Or they're asking for 80 and give them 70, whatever it was. The owners didn't give a shit about the money either because they're like, this is the last contract. Next contract, we going to have a third of y'all going to get replaced. That's what they're fighting. The same thing that Hollywood was fighting. You can't fight it. All you can do is you can fight a retreating action, like you just, the rear guard action, but it's coming, bro. You're gonna get overrun.
Even in Hollywood right now, like look how good the computer animation has gotten. It's gotten to where they look like real people.
My God, bro. Have you seen that Netflix Love, Sex and Robots?
Yeah.
Bro, you see that? There's one on there called Lucky 13. Have you seen that one?
Nuh-uh.
Bro, you need to, as soon as we get done here, watch it. It is the animation is good. It's not as good as what you're talking about. What you're talking about now, you can't tell the difference between real and animated. But Lucky 13, I think it was in either season 1 or season 2. Lucky 13 is a story about a pilot, and she's flying the aircraft. The number was 13. But you got to watch it, and she's like a new lieutenant, and she's flying a futuristic version of a helo attack thing. It's like Stoll and all that. It's VTOL or whatever and all that. It goes up and down. You got to watch this shit, bro. But that was all done by AI. Like it was AI assisted. And I'm sitting there at the end of my seat, like this is one of the best stories told. Of course, the voices are real, but now AI can take your voice. They can take my voice and put it in a movie.
Yep. That's why I'm trying to fight that now because they're saying that. But no, I mean, but that's like I said, Obama was the one that said it. He was like, we got to catch up because that. So the real issue is going to be is what happens. So let's say 20 years. 20 years seems like be a pretty good leap because you figure, look what cell phones were in 2000. Look where they are now. Yeah. So 20 years from now, what are people going to be doing for jobs? Yeah, I mean, really.
You might be looking at UBI. People hate it when I say it, but I'm like, bro, these jobs are going away forever. What's going to happen? There's going to have to be something done here. It might have to some form of universal basic income, which is what Andrew Yang's been talking about forever.
Yeah. Social Security for all is what it's going to be. We start printing money.
UBI. Which is like UBI.
But it's definitely coming. And folks are just sitting back watching it in slow motion. The jobs that'll be around in 20 years are the ones that people feel comfortable interacting with. Social workers, doctors, that kind of thing. But the difference will be eventually people will get used to dealing with, self-checkout.
I never use it.
Nobody got near self-checkout when it first came out. But now even people that say, I don't use it, they'll look at the lines because it'll be like one checker at Walmart and be like, let me just go.
I leave. I just leave. But I'm that minor, I'm the outlier. Before no one touched it. Now
ones and zeros. That's
people get mad when they're like they can't use self-checkout.
Yep. And that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna see like the social workers and the doctors and all that stuff. People are gonna want still people, pilots, they want still people, but then they'll slowly phase it in. So it'll be there'll be 2 flights a year with no pilots, and them flights will just go round and round and round. Won't be an issue.
I tell folks all the time. They ask me about air traffic. Well, they ask me about air traffic. They're like, well, when is AI going to take over air traffic? Those young pilots are like, it could do it now. I'm like, well, it needs
Free
to
flight.
well, yeah, it needs
Yeah.
to be true. It needs to be true AI, like self-aware AI. Like you have to be to do it because we don't have free flight, and because in America you can just get in your airplane and fly around, and a computer won't know what to do.
Yeah.
So, but could they do it? Yeah, it just right now it costs too much. But yes, they could do it.
Think about this: if Elon Musk gets that full self-driving to where it's truly AI, which it's already, I think it's AI now. It's learning. If it gets to the point where that robo-taxi thing people keep talking about, if it gets to that point where you can just ignore it, go to sleep in the car, okay, that's when you'll start seeing them put that stuff in aircraft. Because you need to be able to function with like you said, like you'll never use that thing until all the cars are using the same thing. It'll be the same thing. It'll be like that with aircraft. Until aircraft is actually doing its thing. I mean, until the cars are doing their things like that, you won't see aircraft taking over. But it's coming.
I think the AI can take over ATC services everywhere in the world except for America. I think you could do it in Europe. I think you could do it in Canada. I think you could do it everywhere else because they don't have the freedom that Americans have to jump in an airplane and just fly anywhere. I think the only thing that messes up the AI is that, like think about California, think about Van Nuys's airspace. You just got some dude who jumps into his 737 and just goes flying around VFR. You know what I mean? That's going to be hard for the AI to determine what's going on with that.
I bet you if you get a computer fast enough to analyze it, it could do it in the next couple of years.
Well, and that goes back to what I said. They can do it. It's right now it's cost prohibitive. You know how much money that would cost?
Yeah. I was gonna say because you can sit there. I mean, like right now, it's like remember when the first chess, the computer chess thing came out, and everybody was like, "Whoa, the computer played chess."
Yeah, IBM.
That I think is a joke. You know what I mean? Like I said, bro, my car literally drove around the parking lot. It didn't just move like straight to me. No, it drove around the parking lot. People walked her, stopped her, people let them go, drove around people. You know what I mean? In the rain. And pulled up in front of the thing with like, here you go, come get me. But man, let me wrap this up, man.
We're done here. I want to show you this one clip from you got to watch this, man. This is wrong button. Right button. Here we go. So this is a clip from Love, Death, and Robots Lucky 13. Make sure you watch this, man. Man, check this out. This is just a quick little clip. Change the music up. Look at that. They got Marines in the back.
Look at that. That looks like people. I mean, it still looks cartoonish, but it looks like people.
It looks like people. Like, I turned the audio off because I'm not sure if that's clear or not. But dude, if you watch this, like in this scene right here, this guy's like, "Don't you leave me, don't you leave me." She ordered all the Marines back in. The other two drop ships left. And look, she's waiting on him. And then bam, you got to watch this, bro. You got to check that out, man. So, hey guys, that is Love, Death, and Robots, guys. Check. I mean, that's on Netflix right now. It's really great animation. They got a bunch of them on there. I think you guys will like 90% of the ones they have. They're all shorts. They're all like short. They're all different. They're all different styles of animation, bro. I think you're gonna like them all. Great stories. Bro, thanks for coming on here, man. We were supposed to only talk for an hour, bro. It's been 2 hours.
That's what ends up happening, though. For real, always ends up.
Yep. I got to get up there, man. I need to fire. I ain't fired that AK in a while. You still got it?
Yeah, it's sitting up there, man.
I need
to oil them things. I probably should pull them out this weekend and oil them. That's what I need to be doing.
Well, if we start getting gas again down here, I might come up. But right now, they still tripping on the gas.
Yeah, for real. All right, man. Do your thing, man. Like I said, she give me the high sign.
All right, y'all. I'm gonna holler at you, man. Y'all take care out there. Peace.
Peace. That guy.